Welcome to Bearish. We're not financial professionals, and this is not financial investment advice. Enjoy the episode.
All right. Let's start off with, I think they're Nane, N-A-N-E. How do you say that? Nane, Nane?
Nani? That's
Too
how I
many
read
anime. Too many anime shows for Max.
Nani.
All right, Max, we'll start off with you. Max. Ready?
All right, what's the question?
What are some things you wish you would have known or known to do when you first began investing?
All right, so there's two different ways I go at this. The pretty basic answer is patience. Once you see your little graphy thing turn red, everyone likes to sound the alarms. But for every red day, or I feel like you need a red day to have a green day. Not always, but sometimes it's going to go down. You're going to have to wait it out and be patient. With options, this is a different story. I feel like sometimes you need to take your loss on those things because sometimes they can go south really bad. But I'm talking about shares as a whole. If you've done your research correctly and you're confident in your trade, I would say be patient and wait it out. If there was something that I wish I knew going into investing, it would be options. Because I said this on a previous episode. The only way I learned options was to just dive balls deep into them right off the rip. And I remember going to bed and waking up down like $100, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's half my portfolio." But yeah, you live and you learn. You know, that's my 2 cents on that.
All right, and there's one more that Nane wants.
Nani? Yeah.
In your opinion, what is the ideal way to start investing?
I think you've said this. Either this is in a book or you said this, Jared. Invest in things that you know. I think that's the easiest way to kind of start. If you know, if you're a big fan of, I don't know, if you're a big fan of Apple products, you're going to know when Apple is doing something good and when Apple is doing something bad. So it just makes the whole research process kind of easier to know what you're actually investing in. Yeah, that's it.
Love that, Max. All right, Logan, you're next. What are some things you wish you would have known or known what to do when you first began investing?
Do any kind of research on a company at all. Because when I first hopped in, it was kind of just... I can kind of answer both questions because...
Yeah.
The way to start investing is, like Max said, you go to these, quality companies that you know, which is what I did. But then there's a step past that where you actually have to do some research on the company. Jared's all about it. Like how much money they're making, what is their profits, how much are they reinvesting, things like that. Because a company you can know by name, but if you were to invest in, let's say, Apple right now, you probably wouldn't be doing so hot, even though it is a company everyone knows. And it's a huge stock just because tech stocks in general are dipping. So you got to do your research on the sector, do research on the company. And that's something I wish I knew because I just got lucky that last year I got in at the exact perfect time on everything. So I was like, this is sick. I'm a stock whiz.
You didn't realize the context of how awesome that situation was.
Your
Exactly.
dad told you when to buy, right, Logan?
Yeah, he was like, you need to buy right now.
Love that, Mr. Sean. Love that.
Dude,
I mean, dude,
yeah,
like,
you
and
did. You slammed
and you
dunked
did
it.
buy like great companies as well. United Racks.
Yeah. Yeah, great
Dude,
company.
that thing's at like $330.
It got up to
And
like...
you bought it 70.
Yeah, it got up to like 180 and I was like, this is amazing. I'm selling.
This is amazing.
All right, Mike. You're you're still kind of a beginner. So are all of us, but you're a little more.
I'm
new
worse
to
at it
this.
than you are.
So what are some things? What are some things you wish you would have known before you began?
I think I pointed it out when I commented with Logan. Context. Like, there's more to the stock market than just like the individual company. Like knowing about the S&P and the NASDAQ and what all those things mean, and like how the market it goes through cycles and it has a rhythm to it. Like having all that context to support my trades and like what companies I choose to invest in. I think I didn't understand that because I jumped in on the hype train like we all did. I think I did the AMC, BlackBerry. Like I was just picking the stocks that people were going like crazy with. But I didn't realize like the context behind that and why that was happening. And I felt like that would have been really helpful. I'm still trying to understand this just to get better at it, because it's just helpful to know in case, like you were talking about rotating, like what the great rotation was. I didn't understand what rotating stocks like into cyclicals, for example, meant. And I feel like that's super important to understand if you're going to manage your portfolio like long term in a really clever way, then it's important to know the context. The second thing I would say is exactly what Max said, but like don't panic if you go red. Like you have to understand that you are not going to be on a bull run all the time. And so you have to you can't just automatically like panic sell. I panic sold quite a few times since I started, like in the beginning of 2020. I think, yeah. And it's just it's hurt me more than it's helped me. Like I sold, for example, Palantir. It was going down so much and I thought it was going to go down super bad. So I sold that at like $80 loss, and it's back to where it was. Now it's back to where it was when I sold it. And I was like, it goes up and it goes down. You just have to really have a strong, as Wall Street Bets would put it, diamond hands. But I mean, understanding the psychology of trading is so helpful. Dylan actually told me about this a while ago. And psychology and context, I would say. Those are my biggest things I wish I knew.
So what's in your opinion, what's the ideal way to start investing?
So I don't think there is a strictly one ideal way, right? Because we all have our different tendencies. Jared, you like to go long term. I like Max and Logan have tended to go short term. There's no ideal way, like generally speaking. You have to find the way that works for you. There is perhaps, I would say, like the standard or the what's it called? Common practices you do to diversify your portfolio and to make sure that, you know, what you're doing is a sound decision, or at least the baseline of what you might do. You could call that the common practices. I've seen a lot of people doing that, but then some people, they choose to go a whole different route. Like these people who go strictly options to make way more short-term gains. Like that's because their goals are different than most others. So I'd say ask yourself what you want first. I didn't really do this in the beginning, but now that I'm asking myself, like, what do I actually want? It shifts what I choose to do in terms of how I trade and the ideal way that I approach the way I want to invest to achieve my goals.
Guys, those were
Bring
some
us home, Jared.
solid questions.
Bring us home.
Some things I wish I would have known. I wish I would have known immediately right away how to value a company, so I know a good price, or I knew a good price to buy in at. But I mean, you're not going to know everything once you start off. Like, it takes time. Like Max said, you have to. The way he got started with options, he just dove in. That's kind of what you have to do with stocks. You don't have to, but I think that's all. That's how we did. We just dove in. You know, if we just learn from our mistakes.
You gotta fail 100 times before you succeed.
Right. When I first started, I just bought anything that was going up.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a good strategy.
I started with.
You're big on therapeutics.
Yeah, I started with
like buying because the name was cool or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
Basically.
And then my opinion, the ideal way to start investing, just find the strategy that works for you, whether it's short-term, day trading, options trading, long-term. And also, as like just a little bit of a piece of advice, don't believe everything you see and everything you hear. Because people will tell you, I made this much money, you should buy into this company. That I think the worst thing you can do is listen to someone else as to where you put your money and what you do with your money. So
yeah, I'd have to agree. And to kind of wrap it all up, don't really, like, especially Wall Street Bets a couple weeks ago, or like a month or whatever ago, don't buy into don't buy into all the hype. You're gonna see someone. My buddy texted me the other day and said, hop on, I think it was Microvision, because it was up like 40% on the day. And I was like, bro, I've already missed the train. Like, it's long gone now. And then so many people pile into it, and the people that are actually smart are now taking their profits, selling it, which drives the price down, and then it just screws you because you bought the hype. So it's like, kind of be calculated in it. Understand if you see a big pop, it's not always going to keep going, and most of the time it actually does go straight back down. So it's
Right.
just
And you
like,
get caught holding the bag.
I mean, we're still learning to this day, all of
Yeah.
us.
I guess the best thing is like what Max said, just know what you're buying. Like, you don't want to buy a random ass company because you see the price skyrocketing. Like, it's easier to understand, like, for example, if you love Facebook and if you see their stock going up, I mean, you kind of already know how they make money. If you're on Facebook, you know the services they provide, so on and so forth, stuff like that. Just don't buy into anything. Know what you're buying. You don't have to do all that research into the financials that some of us do. Just be patient. It'll come. Don't rush anything.
and if you don't know, educate
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Try to understand how they make
Read some
money.
books,
Yeah.
watch some YouTube videos.
Yeah, YouTube is your
This all
sandbox,
sounds
dude.
like kind of exactly. This all sounds kind of cliche, but it is very true. Like to this day, like I'm still learning. I'll have a big run, and then something a learning lesson will come across and just knock me down a few steps to be like, okay, that's why this happened. I now understand that. Let's move forward with this knowledge. And like we're what, like a year and a half into this, like
Yeah.
investing as a whole.
Yeah.
We're still learning to this day, and we're gonna be learning until the day we stop investing. It's basically
Yeah.
just how it goes.
If you ever lose money, I think a very important thing is to figure out why you lost money. Like if you read a chart wrong, or you got in at the wrong time, or if you're going long term, it really like the normal up and downs of everyday price action does not matter. Don't even look at it. If you're in it for years and years, I mean, don't even look at the stock. Just know that you're buying a business that you think is going to be worth more in the future than it is right now, and it's as simple as that. You don't stress yourself about it, because I don't know about you guys. When I first started, I was on my phone all day, every day, just looking at
Right.
cents changes. Like if it went up 10 cents, I was like, fuck, I didn't buy in. I mean, but in reality, it's like, it's nothing. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It can get addicting.
That's very true.
It can
Yeah,
get
it can.
addicting.
I think
Don't stress
just
yourself out.
piggybacking off what someone said earlier, I think FOMO is a super dangerous thing. I think that's one of
Yeah.
the most dangerous things for someone just starting. So just be careful of that, like Max was saying. Like
Yeah.
if
'Cause
you
then it
see
goes
something
back to getting
pop that
jealous.
much, if you see something pop that much, you've probably already missed it. Don't get that FOMO.
You're already too late.
Yeah.
And if you're living under a
Exactly.
rock like
Unless
I
it's
am,
Jimmy.
FOMO means fear of missing out. Just because other people are riding the train up to the very top and it's all the way up there, don't feel like you need to get in, because you can become a
There's
bag
gonna be-
holder
yeah, there's always,
very
you got
quickly.
time. You got time. Yeah. That was
Amen to
good.
that. Thank you, Nani. Appreciate the reaching out. That's not your
That
name.
was a
I'm
good way
sorry.
to start. We're acting all
I like
mature.
that. I actually
so-
like that. Hopefully, people will continue to ask stuff, and then we'll dive into how Jared absolutely hates Kathy Woods. So please explain your story.
Oh,
He's calling him out.
You know what the problem is, dude? So I haven't done any
I wasn't lying.
research on anything, but this is just, and I may sound so ignorant, okay? I may, and for everyone listening, I apologize. But I just think people worship her because of the stocks she's buying. And the
Good God.
stocks that she is buying are Tesla, Palantir, these Roku, Square, these hype stocks that in reality these valuations are crazy, and they're very popular stocks, and I think that's why people love her. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I like Warren Buffett, I like Phil Town, I like all of these people who look at value and future earnings and discount it to present day, things like that. And I mean, I think she's the perfect model of the present day young trader, though.
Yes. That is
And I think that's why
exactly
people
what I was
love
going
her.
to say. Right. I haven't done much research on her either, but I think she might be calculated in some way in the present time to be like, what are the hype stocks that are, just absolutely blowing the roof off right now? Tesla not right now, but at one point it was. I mean, it's all these hype stocks, tech stocks, and everything like that people are buzzing about right now. So she's kind of like, why don't I inflate it a little bit? Tell people that I put X amount of money into it, and
People love
then ride the profit. People are gonna buy into it, buy the hype. It's like right now it seems like gambling for some people. So it's like let's just get on it. And I think in that
Yeah.
sense, just because she's throwing around millions and millions of dollars, she might be calculated in some way. But
I'm not saying
valuation
she
wise,
doesn't know
I would
what
say
she's
no.
doing. I'm not saying she
Right,
doesn't know what
exactly.
she's doing. She's worth hundreds of $1 million. She's trading or investing, if you will, with hundreds of millions, maybe even billions of dollars.
Lots of money.
I mean, people. But I'm just saying, like you said, Max, the stuff she's buying. I think deep down she knows that it's not worth that.
Jared's a
Her,
sexist?
her
Question mark.
Clickbait.
God.
No, her ARC ETFs are cool though. All of those different ones. I think long term those could be very
Which ones?
profitable. She has all of it. Like ARC, it's like ARC with another K and then ARC. It's like all of these.
Well,
different-
that's
they're
the
all-
problem.
they're
That's
all
why
start
I
with
feel.
ARC.
That's why I feel bad because I know kind of what she holds, but I don't know everything that she holds. All I know is it's a lot of the stocks that a lot of the young traders and investors like to invest in.
Right.
Like you're not seeing
Wow.
you're not seeing banks in there. You're not seeing industrials in there.
Those are
You're
boring.
seeing Square, Roku, Tesla, things like that. I'm not
Right.
saying she's shit. She's obviously better than me, and she's better than a
She's
lot
doing
of people.
something right.
Yeah, she's doing something right.
Whatever
But
it is.
I just think she may be a little overrated, if you will. I mean,
Woo!
don't
Now that's
kill me
clickbait
for
right
it.
there.
I mean, come on,
Someone
guys.
make the
Like,
thumbnail right
like
now.
Come on. No. Am I wrong?
As
Am I
the
wrong?
whole time I've been listening.
comment.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in the comments
yeah,
on
no
that one.
comment.
Put that one on TikTok. Put that one on TikTok, and we'll see. We'll
It's
see
funny
because
because as you were talking about her and like, oh, I don't know about it. I don't know. She just seems like she doesn't know what she did. I'm just reading her entire bio. She like graduated from USC with like a BS in finance and economics. She's 65 years
Hey,
old.
I'm not
She's
saying I know more
literally
than her.
she's 3
65?
times our age, has so much more life and work experience than us, and we're just little college kids saying, oh, I don't know if she knows what she's doing.
I hate Kathy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she doesn't know.
She
what
doesn't
she's
either
doing,
extremely-
though. I'm just saying, like,
It's very audacious of us, or
Please
it's
throw us a couple
extremely
$100.
stupid of us to be saying something like that. Either
Or
one.
is she
or
is she a
ignorant.
genius for knowing how today's traders are and just playing
Yeah.
off of that?
yes, that's true. That's true.
That's what
She
I believe
knows-
it is.
yes,
That's what I believe
That's
it is.
true. That is true.
Because valuation wise, they're all companies that are
It's shit
trading
trading, but the way she's going about it is smart.
That's very
It's
true.
just-
I think she
yeah,
has a
playing with the
very
times.
good understanding of how. I didn't know she was 65, by the way, but I think
I
she
did
has
not
a
know
very
that
good
either.
understanding about how the market is working right now. And if she, she may not think Tesla's worth this, but if she can make a little bit of coin off it, then screw it.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe you're right, Logan. Maybe she does know something, and I'm just being an ignorant 20-year-old.
Maybe we need to. We're just mad.
Next.
Billions. We're just mad. Was it the boat situation? Mike, this one's yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, come
This
on.
one-
dude.
Roll
What are
up
we-
in
what are we
arms about
talking
that
about?
one.
Hey, I like boats, okay? Don't come for me.
I like those.
The Ever Given? Is that what it was
That's
called?
Did you
the
ever see
company.
that,
Or some shit.
I think that's
you ever
the
see
company.
the meme on TikTok where it was the huge baby?
About what?
It was like a baby that was about half the size of me, and it was like 1 year old.
No.
They were like,
Can't say I have.
Just-
though.
just-
Can't say I've seen
Just-
that one, but I'd love to see where you're going.
just the amount of memes about this boat. They were like, I know who can move it, and it was the fucking baby, bro.
I saw people making like Twitter accounts. Like in the picture, you could see like a dude standing off to the side in like a little like digger, and it was like they made Twitter accounts of like I'm the guy like controlling the digger. Like it was like stupid stuff like that. Like
It's
people just making memes out of
oh
anything.
man.
Another-
So Mike, explain it to us. What's going on with the boat?
So it was freed.
It's straight
thank
now,
God.
right? Like,
It
yeah.
finally got freed. But basically, for about
Thank God.
a week, I can't remember how long it's been. It's been like this whole week they've been covering it.
A minute.
But for essentially a week, maybe a little bit more or less, this huge shipping container has been stuck in the Suez Canal. And that is like one of the most important trading routes between Asia and Europe. And basically, just from this one ship, and I don't even know how it got stuck, but from this one ship getting stuck in the canal and blocking all the
I know how
other
it got
ships,
I know how it
I'd
got
love
stuck.
for you to tell
Couldn't
me.
fit sideways.
Real quick.
Yes,
Real
go
quick.
for
That's
it.
it. Couldn't fit.
Real quick.
Got stuck.
It was
in sand or
like
something.
a wind. It was like too much wind. That's pretty much it.
That's it?
Too much wind.
Damn wind.
That's it.
It's just,
Wow.
just a windy day.
That's what.
Wind
Well,
today on the
because
Suez
of that
Canal.
wind,
Just another windy day.
billions and literally billions of
sideways.
dollars have been lost every single day it was stuck because of the delay in shipping. The entire global supply chain basically just went okay, and it really caused a huge issue and lost a lot of money. And I just thought, like, wow. It's
That's
like
unfortunate.
one little, not little boat, but one boat getting stuck inside of a canal can halt all of trading.
Little boat.
And it loses that much money, and it halts literally the entire trading of the world. I thought that was really fascinating.
It was kind of impressive.
I'm pretty sure I read an article that stated there was like $400 million being lost every single day it was stuck.
I saw billions,
Jesus.
like a couple billion a day.
I
God.
mean, either way.
I mean, it does make sense. The amount of like delays that other boats couldn't
Exactly,
cross, and then
yeah.
the containers on those. All it's like just a
Yeah,
chain of
there were like
effect.
hundreds and hundreds of boats that were just like, all right, well,
How do you
we'll
get that job?
stay here.
Did I
Yeah.
get fired?
Yeah. Do you think he's?
Something
You
to
think
look
he's
into.
done?
No, it wasn't his fault.
Think he's dead?
It's just a windy day on the canal, man.
Someone killed him.
No, but okay, so I'm looking at an
Dead.
MSN article, and it said it could cost about $6 to $10 billion in lost trade, basically, from
Ooh.
all of those days it was stuck.
How is it lost
points.
trade? Why don't they just?
It's
ship
just
it
delayed.
now?
Yo, I think this is just,
Here you go.
we know what happened,
Days
but
late.
like the behind the scenes thing is a little bit over our heads, and we're not going to pretend like we understand.
We would
it
have to
because we
understand
don't.
the global supply chain.
A boat got stuck and it lost a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Well,
Moving
companies
on.
companies
Damn.
didn't get the packages in time, and it lost them a crap ton of money. I think the biggest thing I wanted to point out is that
Amazon packages.
exactly look at how our entire global supply chain pretty much came to a halt, or at least to quite a screeching stop because of this one mistake or one bad thing that happened. It shows you how this kind of thing, if it happens, it can cause huge ripple effects. And I think that's crazy. How can a boat getting stuck cause that many problems, especially with global supply chain?
You would think they'd make the canal wider, but that's not my. I just think-
Okay.
Just put it under construction for a few months.
Look
man.
how fucking big the boat is. Like,
Hey guys, you can't
Just
come in
saying.
here. We're actually widening the canal. So like, can you go around? That'd be great.
Exactly.
Thanks.
no, turn
That'd be
around.
phenomenal.
Go the other way now.
Just if you wouldn't mind taking a
have
little
traffic
detour
stuck
around the
again.
tip of Africa, we wouldn't mind that. We'd love that if you wouldn't
Yeah,
mind.
there's traffic
It's
cones
scenery.
floating in the water.
You
Do
get
not cross.
scenery.
Anyway,
Speaking of
Boat
rippling
cops.
effects, Mike, are you done with your
Yeah.
boat?
my boat.
Okay.
Thanks.
Done
Are you done with your boat, bro?
Speaking
Oh,
of
good.
rippling effects, this tiger, what is it? What are they even called, man? This fund, Archegos Capital.
Kick.
Archegos Capital Management is a family investment vehicle founded by former Tiger management analyst Bill Huang. Something with I don't see, some of this stuff is confusing. A margin call. I think this is what happened. I think he brought in too much, or he was working on too much leverage.
Over leveraged or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, so he over leveraged his trades. So I think, like, for example, if he's managing 10 billion, he was able to get leverage from these banks, including Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley. So he was able to manage technically 30 billion, something like that. So he
Right.
was
I think you're
heavily
working with
invested-
money that you don't own. Correct.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah. That's what margin is. With Robinhood they give you like
Yeah,
$2,000 or something like that.
When it passes a certain point of like losses, you get what's called a margin call, and you have to bring the amount up to like the funds up to a specific
Collateral,
amount.
as
It's like
collateral.
percentage wise. Yeah, you have to put money back in there because it's what like called a margin call is. Anyway, continue.
Right. So it just says that the fund's leveraged bets blew up in his face, and he was forced to liquidate $20 billion of
Cha-ching.
securities. Yeah.
Wow.
I thought my
So
boat was
his
bad.
margin call was that like 20 billion, yeah, to put back in. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
That's what it's saying. A whopping
Unfortunate
$20
for that
billion
guy.
wave of forced liquidations. Well, so these are the stocks that got hit really hard. Okay, Viacom, they peaked at $100 on March 22nd. They dropped all the way to $44, and this drop in one day, I believe. Actually, it took a few days. It's just like a crash. It takes a while. It's not instantly, but it dropped. What is that? Over 50%, almost. Yeah, it's over 50%, right?
Bro,
I saw
you
80.
imagine being that leveraged and opening your account and just seeing like red of just like a couple billion. I would shit a brick.
Yeah, this
I would
isn't
shit an
this
actual
isn't this
brick.
guy's first go around either, because in 2012 he
Oh,
pled
okay.
guilty to a insider trading and was forced to pay $44 million in charges. So
How
this
much
guy,
money
I
does
think
he
rough life.
have?
I think he should
Right?
take a break with stocks. It
Who
doesn't
is this
sound
guy?
like- I don't know.
Sounds
Who's
like he could be
hiring
the
him?
most wealthy man in the world, right? It sounds
Bill-
like he could have been the wealthiest man in the world, but he just sucks.
His name is Bill Huang.
Oh,
One more time.
you said his name.
Bill Huang.
Okay. Can you
So I'm
spell it?
gonna keep reading. Archegos held large and leveraged bets in stocks Viacom, Discovery, as well as Baidu, Tencent, and VIP Shop, and I think those are Chinese companies. And it
doesn't
says
have
some of
number
these
one.
positions were held via total return swaps, a type of derivative that allows investors to take big levered stakes without disclosing those positions publicly. Now that just doesn't sound right, does it?
That sounds sketchy. That sounds like some black market
Yeah.
type shit.
That doesn't sound very.
And that's
fair,
why he got
if you
whacked.
will.
Wait, so you basically like get into really big positions without telling anybody that you're getting into really big positions?
Yeah. So I'm just gonna try to think. A total return swap. That sounds like. They're like, if he went to Goldman, for example, Goldman is willing to give him a percentage of some kind of or some amount of money, and if he makes a certain percent, then he has to give some of that percent to Goldman. I don't know. Does that? I mean, I just like. Why would you do that if you're? Why would you give this man that much money?
Money? I've never used margin. I thought Dylan used margin before.
I mean,
That's
you
too
have
much
to
for me.
qualify, but like it says, these bets started to
I
go
am not
south after Viacom's $3 billion stock offering through Morgan Stanley. Good thing I hold Morgan Stanley stock, and J.P. Morgan earlier in last week
sold.
fell apart.
I
I
sold
didn't
Morgan
sell.
last week.
I'm down big. I'm gonna stop
sold it,
fucking
bro.
with the banks, dude. Why did I invest
sold
in a
that
bank?
shit,
I
bro.
hate the banks.
I was done with that
So-
because I was getting
so-
smacked left and right.
But this is what's weird about Viacom, and I don't know. Maybe this dude was just buying up all the shares, because from the start of the year, January 1st or January 4th, Viacom was at $36. From the 4th to March 22nd, it hit $100. So it had a massive run up, and I don't know for what reason, but an insane run up, and then it just all fell apart. And that's what's scary about investing, because that just shows you that if banks or a hedge fund or multiple hedge funds wanted to crash the market, they quite literally could. Like, if they wanted to sell everything, boom, you're fucked if you're holding the stock.
It sounds like the banks kind of don't lose when they give this money to people, because say they make money. I don't know if the person they lend it to make money. I don't know if they get a percentage back. I would imagine they would, but I'm not 100%.
I think they have.
Say they don't.
I think that's what the total return swap is. They get a percentage, but I don't know if they get a percentage if he loses money.
But think about it. If there's a margin call, he has to bring the money. He has to give him back the money. So it's like,
Yeah,
it's almost like a
and I
win-win.
I think the problem was, though, Max, is he was so leveraged that even with
couldn't.
all of the positions he had, he still didn't have that collateral.
Hey,
That's just his
updates
fault
for
at that
Bill
point.
Huang.
Yeah.
Huang.
Yeah, but that just brings me back to, like, he can't be the only hedge fund that did that.
Yeah.
I mean, am I wrong? Like, is he the only hedge
With the
fund
run-up that
out
it
there?
was, yeah.
Only one I've heard
It
of.
seems like.
Like, there's got to be other hedge funds out there that are playing with incredible amounts of margin, and maybe that could cause the stock market to crash. Who knows, man? I don't know.
Yeah.
But It kind of took me back to like 2008 when the banks were being irresponsible with like credit swaps or mortgage bonds and securities, and they were like, yeah, they're not going to crash, whatever, we'll go with it. Just a lot of irresponsibility, in my opinion.
A lot of sketch stuff.
But Discovery stock peaked at 77. It's at 43. Baidu peaked at 339, dropped all the way to 175. It's at 219 now. I mean, these things got hit hard.
Hammered. Are they tech stocks or what? Or
yeah, tech, media, whatever.
Got blown up.
I think Mr. Huang needs to take a break though. You might want to take a break.
He needs to take a step back and reevaluate, and also pay $20 billion in margin call.
Yeah. So he had to liquidate. He had to liquidate everything. I think everything. I think it was. I mean, if it wasn't, it was a lot.
20 billion. That's 999 million times 20. Just to give it some scale before you hit 1 billion. Oh my god. That's so much money.
That is a lot of
That's
dough.
some shit, isn't it?
It's alright.
That's like inconceivable.
It's casual.
That amount of money.
Yeah, it actually is.
All right, are we on to the next? And I think final thing?
Yep.
I forgot what it was.
Mr.
Talked about Kathy.
Senor Biden.
Oh. Stimmy stim.
Oh.
I don't even know if it's a
Structure.
stimulus, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a part of it. But yeah, it's like a, let me see, I have it pulled up. He's got a multi-trillion dollar infrastructure plan. So, Mike, that's 999 billion times 2.
Wow.
$2
Now, where does this money
trillion
come from? Does it come from taxes?
Us. It says he's planning on raising taxes on individuals and companies to pay for it. So, sick.
Thanks.
Thanks, Biden. Thanks, Joe.
To
Yeah.
trillions.
So he
Trillions,
wants to raise. He's been saying this since he
For a
began
while,
running.
yeah.
He wants to raise the taxes on people making over $400,000 a year, and he wants to raise the corporate tax to 28%. But I forgot what Trump cut it to.
Okay,
Trump
I was
cut it.
reading.
But he wants to
I was
raise
reading a
it.
book the other day, and it was talking about part of the reason that these rich guys are like these taxing the rich actually falls down on the middle class and the lower class, because
I guess
these
it kind of
guys.
depends on how you look at it. There's two sides to every story. So go ahead, Max, and then I'll try to counter if I think I
Okay.
know where you're going.
Yeah.
So basically, this book was saying that these guys are so rich, one, because they've had financial success over the years, but it's also they either know and are financially literate in how taxes work and all these different kind of government, whatever it may be, or they hire accountants that know exactly what they're doing because it's cheaper to hire them to get loopholes, like legal loopholes through the taxes. So basically, he was saying these guys are so rich is because they're financially literate enough to find ways to not pay their taxes, but it's completely legal in the way that these taxes are written up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they're using the tax code to their advantage.
Which then makes which then leads them to be even richer and completely nullify their obligation to pay the taxes. And they're gonna have to get that money from somewhere. So it's other guys that are then paying these taxes while the rich just compound their money. Basically is what it was saying.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point of his tax on the wealthier part of America.
Yeah.
Like
I just think there's going to be a way. There's always going to be a way, and these guys have gotten to where they're at. One, because they have some kind of business, or they've had success in the business world as a whole. But they also understand the way taxes work, and will figure out a way to get around them.
Yep.
Because I mean, that's just how it goes. If there's some kind of law or whatever, there's always going to be a way to hop around it or jump through it with loopholes. And these guys are going to find it because they have. If they had to pay these taxes, it'd be millions and millions of dollars coming out of their pocket. And they're who's going to willingly pay that?
Yeah. So
That's how I look at it.
along with the raised taxes, he's also, I have the exact number as well. He's planning on spending $174 billion to boost America's EV market. And that
I like
is
that.
very
Big
good,
time.
yeah. Um,
EV up today?
I think one of the plans was to include 500,000 new EV charging stations, which is actually ridiculous
huge.
across the United
That'd be
States.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the biggest reason that people don't buy EV is because it's kind of difficult to recharge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we talked about that in a previous episode. There's like, tell me where you find a Tesla charging station. Like,
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Not
I mean, apart
near
from the one down
me.
the street from me, I haven't seen one. Yeah.
That's literally it.
Not in the middle of Georgia.
Atlanta, mate. I actually haven't even seen one in Atlanta, to be honest. There's one at Kroger, but I don't know if it's specifically for Tesla. I know it's an electric
Yeah.
charging station, though.
I'm pretty sure Tesla has their own specific ones, though, right?
They do. They're called superchargers.
Oh, then it's not that.
Well, what a lot of people
these
do
ones are,
is
like,
they
green and
they
shit.
get them in their home. Like they
get it in the
Yeah, they
garage,
get it in the
yeah.
garage.
How much does that cost?
Like a grand.
I mean, it's basically just electricity. Yeah, but I think you
I mean, yeah.
get money back anyways for driving your electric car. So it basically pays for it.
It plugs straight into your wall like a regular hair dryer. So it's
like an
the
outlet,
same
yeah.
Oh.
thing. Yeah.
Jesus. Does it take forever to charge?
No.
Think about it. It's like that
Couple
little
hours.
tiny thing.
I don't think it does.
I think it
I don't
takes like an
does.
hour or so to
Huh.
fully charge.
Some of them, the
That's pretty cool.
superchargers take like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
But those
Could you
are
imagine?
expensive. I think
When are they
those.
going
I
to get that on
think,
the phone?
I think
My phone
those are
takes
the ones that
fucking
he's
hours.
proposing getting put out. Logan. I think he wants the superchargers that will, fill you up in 10 minutes.
Biden,
Those are expensive. Yeah,
Hmm.
those are expensive.
that'd be sick.
But hey, it would be sick. I mean, the fact of the matter is, EV, that's the future. It's gonna happen.
It is,
There's no
yeah.
doubt about it. So you might as well invest, as much money as it needs to start, accelerating the process.
Good.
Building
These
off that,
damn gas prices.
yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Building off that, do you think this opens up, the door for Chinese companies like Neo or maybe Lucid Motors to kind of get their foot in the door, coming
Is
into the
Lucid
U.S.?
Chinese?
Yes.
I don't know if they're Chinese, but I know Neo is. But
I don't think Lucid is.
I'm not sure what it is.
they might be.
But do you think, just in general, do you think it opens up the door for these global companies to try and get into the U.S. market? Because now that we have the
Yes.
infrastructure, yeah.
You know what I'm scared of? I'm scared that the EV market is gonna get very saturated. And I think a lot of car companies are going to lose a lot of money because there's going to be so much. There's going to be Tesla, Neo, General Motors, and they have Cadillac,
It's gonna be like a regular car at
Chevy,
that point.
GMC.
Yeah, that will
Yeah,
be
in
the
10,
main
20
car.
years, EV is going to be a regular car.
Right. So I mean, there's a lot of hype right now, but I think, everyone's going to do it. So like, who's to say Lucid's going to be a big company when they have to compete with Tesla, GM, Volkswagen? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's opportunity, but I think I don't think all of these companies will survive, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Lucid is
I
not.
think
Lucid is not Chinese. It's actually from California, and the reason I
didn't
know
think
is
so.
because
so they already are American.
Yes, this is the company that the head engineer or the person who broke off and started it is actually a former engineer from Tesla, and I think he designed the Model S or
That makes
3,
sense.
one of the cars.
So-
So he broke off and started Lucid Motors.
Jared, off what you said, I think it's just going to come down to sheer affordability because you look at
Yeah.
how much most people make. Like, if you take away the top 1% and how wealthy they are, if you look at what average Americans make, it's just going to be who can afford it once that becomes the norm. So, like you're saying,
Right, I
Volkswagen's going to be
completely agree.
huge. I think Volkswagen's
Volkswagen,
going to be up
GM.
there.
But I think the saturation of the market could be good for driving prices down.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that could be a positive.
Yeah, definitely.
So we don't have to pay, $40K
Right,
for a Tesla.
right.
For a base.
It's just
one.
going to be like regular cars. There's
Right,
There's going
yeah.
to be high-end models. There's going to be low-end models. It's going to be, the basic Honda Civic that's affordable, and then they're going to have the tip-top Honda one.
That's
Yeah.
I don't
exciting.
know, whatever that is, the Honda Accord. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Nice,
The Honda Accord
Max.
is gonna come in.
Nice.
The tip-top Honda. Have you heard of that one? It drives great.
It's new.
Drives great. it's fresh off the
Tip-top
market.
Honda.
No, but seriously, I think that's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's just going to transition to EV.
I agree.
Okay.
much.
Hey, by the way, I found the corporate tax so Trump cut it. It was at 35%. He cut it to 21. Biden is going to raise it to 28. So still below the 35, but considerably above the 21%.
Joe.
And also,
Sleepy.
Max, you were talking about how rich people will always find a way, which absolutely right. But I'm happy that that was said because I saw this. This says the administration also wants to boost the global minimum tax for multinational corporations and ensure they pay at least 21% in taxes in any country. The White House aims to discourage firms from listing tax havens as their address and writing off expenses related to offshoring among other
Keyword
reforms.
is discourage.
21%.
Yeah, right.
That is
I think he's gonna try his best to,
It's not happening.
limit that, but it's not gonna happen.
21%. Say you make, an even 25% even each quarter. That means the first quarter you're working basically for free. That's ridiculous.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Say you make an even 25% for all 4 quarters, and the first quarter, a majority of it, you're working.
Oh, that's such
At
a
least it's
weird way of
35%.
thinking about
At
it.
least it's not 35%. It was 35%.
Bro, you're
It
yeah,
was
that's not,
35.
even more.
basically a third of the year you're not you're working for free.
You're
But dude,
working
I mean,
for free.
The wealth, if we're gonna get on the wealth gap in this country is absurd. Like if you see like a graph, the top 1%.
The pandemic
owns,
just exposed it to
It
Bro,
owns
the wealth gap
almost all of
anywhere
the
is
money in the
ridiculous.
Yeah, but here, I mean, it's a problem. So I think
The pandemic really exposed it.
Yeah.
yeah, for
Made
sure.
it worse.
I was just
I like
looking
that.
at
Yeah.
stats
Actually.
about the top 1%, and 2009 was the last time it showed, the most recent recording, and the top average person in the top 1% owns 225 times more than the middle class. I think it said middle class.
Just the middle. Oh.
That's a
I mean,
lot of
you can- I mean,
times.
I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say tax the rich. They need to give us money, but I mean that's a considerable amount.
What I don't get is why do they get taxed more just based on the fact they make more? Like why should my money be taxed more or
Because
taxed less?
You have more money to give.
Right, so it's solely based on the
Becomes
fact
a
that I'm
ratio.
making more, that my money is now
Well, I
worth
think
less.
That's how
Essentially.
tax brackets
I wouldn't
work.
say it's. I wouldn't say it's.
I know, I've
worthless.
never
Yeah, I mean,
never
that's-
liked it. I mean, I get it because at the end of the day, they are almost making so much money they don't know what to do with.
You still end up with more
So,
in the end, actually. Even if you get taxed more, you still end up with more money since your income is so much higher than the average
much
middle
higher.
class.
yeah, obviously, it seems weird to be like, oh, you make more, so I'm going to take more just based off the fact that the total amount that you make is more than everyone else.
Another thing, it could be a flat tax rate, which has been discussed, but I don't know what the economic implications of that are. But
Yeah.
A flat tax rate.
flat tax instead of a
What, for any
yeah.
class?
Everyone pays,
Like, I
but
don't-
that hurts. I think that hurts people who are poor.
That would hurt the
Yeah.
lower class.
Hurts
Definitely.
hurts those who are poor because
I mean, yeah.
Well, like you
Tax
guys,
them too
I mean,
much.
you have to realize taxes are what fund.
Yeah,
everything.
Operations.
They're,
So, like,
they're
if-
necessary. They're
Right,
necessary
so-
to an extent.
I mean, if
Yeah.
the mega wealthy didn't pay anything, this country would.
Let's put it this way: when Jeff Bezos divorced his wife, he lost $80 billion, right?
And he was still the richest.
Still the richest man in the world, but guess what? It only took him a couple of months before he gained all of that money back after his divorce. So if that shows you how wealthy the wealthy are, that is
That's insane.
wild. He lost $80 billion in a divorce, and then he just made it back in 3 months.
That's more than
He
like
made it back.
generations of
It's-
families make.
Yeah.
Like literal
Oh,
like
bro, by far.
generations.
By far.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
More
would say,
than
like,
one.
every
Every
generation.
Yeah, you could go
Yeah,
down a
that's what I'm
whole
saying,
family
like-
line.
Our like parents times 10. It even worse
Yeah.
because like back then they're making like minimum wages like fucking 50
So, yeah.
cents. Not literally, but
It's a good place to end.
Yeah. Well said, Mike.
depressing.
Hit us with the outro, buddy.
Cool.
Hey, remember
Parable.
to emphasize the Discord.
Yes.
No longer
course.
bearish.
For the,
Powerball,
for
In
the
the
time being.
meantime.
For the time being,
Yeah,
yeah.
for the time being.
All right. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like on the video. We really appreciate it. Also, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, feel free to follow us and make sure to leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts. It helps us out and it lets us know you're listening. Finally, if you want to get to know us, if you want to talk to us more, we're on Instagram, TikTok, and there's also a new Discord server that we are on right now. It's the Powerball Trading Discord. Feel free to click on our link tree and you'll see a link to it there. You can come talk to us directly in some voice chats, ask us questions that we'll answer on the podcast, and, have a great time overall. Max, are you okay?
Powerball.
Yeah.
Powerball.
Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoy the episode. Talk to you later. Peace.
Peace.